want you to feel better. I want you to do well after this. I'm going to tell you, you're going to be charged, and this is very serious, and we have a lot of evidence. Yeah, exactly. Let's start treating it like it's a serious situation, shall we? Don't you understand that after all this conversation, you're not being released, no matter what?
I know.
You've killed 2 people, man. Cold as ice, eh?
I just don't want to repeat.
I'm good. Don't worry about me. I know you got my DNA under her fingernails, but her. Who gives a about her? Who gives a about this guy? I'm good. You're an animal.
The interrogation of Mr. Rocky Kam was conducted by Sergeant Terpsma of Vancouver Police Department. Let's take a look at some examples of common interrogation techniques that this interrogating officer used on the suspect.
Would you like something else?
I want some snack, please.
Some food? What would you like to eat?
Something that I can eat.
Like what? Like a sandwich?
If I can, sure.
Sure you can. What would you like?
Anything. A sandwich is fine.
A sandwich? Like a chicken sandwich?
Sure.
Okay. We can arrange that.
Offering food, drinks, and other items for comfort. This is a common rapport-building technique. It is so often used that it has become part of the workflow for most police interviews, be it inquisitorial interviews or accusatorial interrogations.
I don't know. I have 3 kids myself, and it seems to me that parents are proud. How old am I?
Yeah.
I'm 50.
How long have you been in the police department?
27 years.
That's long.
It is long, isn't it?
Another common rapport-building technique is self-disclosures. Here we see the interrogating officer being quite open and willing to disclose information about herself.
What should I call you? Is that the name you like?
Rocky.
Yeah, okay, I'll call you that. Call me Leah, of course.
Calling the suspect by their preferred name and title is another example of rapport-building techniques. Using or exhibiting contrasting emotions is a technique that officers use. Here we first see the officer being angry and then switching to a calm, caring approach.
What is the reason?
Come on.
No, you come on. What's the reason for this?
I have nothing to say.
How come? How can you look at that and say, I'm good. I'm good. Don't worry about me. I know you got my DNA under her fingernails, but her. Who gives a about her? Who gives a about this guy? I'm good. Like, how is that? Like, how are you doing that? How are you sitting there saying, no thanks? Because that's what it feels like, Rocky. It feels like you're saying, yeah, no, I'm fine. Are you fine? I don't know. I don't know if your family is going to be able to shed some light on this, Rocky. I would sure like for you to shed some light on it. It is entirely up to you. Do you visit with your grandmother much?
Ignoring and rejecting invocation attempts. This is not always legal, but it is permitted in some situations and countries.
Here they are here. Do you recognize those folks?
I have nothing to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have nothing to say.
Okay. All right. So with regard to these people, are they familiar or neighborly with you?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. So obviously this brings up something emotional for you, Rocky. You seem...
Another common technique, confronting the suspect with evidence, either real or false. In this interrogation, we see the officer placing evidence and photos all over the walls and confronting the suspect with them. Maximizing the seriousness of the crime and/or the situation.
How this happens now. I'm going to tell you, you're going to be charged, and this is very serious, and we have a lot of evidence. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's start treating it like it's a serious situation, shall we?
Number 8, confrontation.
No, it isn't about that. Don't you understand that after all this conversation, you're not being released, no matter what.
I know.
You've killed 2 people, man. You're not going anywhere. This isn't about being released. This is about helping other people. But you don't care about that. That's all I've been talking about all night, is you helping other people. You done enough to hurt other people, that's for sure. But you're just sitting there coldly. I don't have anything to say. I don't really give a
You're not me.
No, I certainly am not. Because you know the difference? I have empathy for other people, and I care about
No,
other
you're
people.
not being charged for murder.
I didn't kill anybody either. That's the difference, man.
Number 9, showing concern for the suspect.
You know, there's a lot that's gone on, Rocky, and I'm worried about you. I mean, there's a lot of people, like you've seen half of them already, that are working on this case, but, you know, they're worried about what happened and the people and the house and all that stuff, and I'm worried about you.
Using silence. In other words, ask the question and then just wait. Let the silence hang in there.
And that's why I'm being very patient, and I'll sit with you as long as you need me to. But it takes a lot of bravery to come forward and regret and be remorseful for what you did.
Suggesting scenarios, explanations, and theories. The interrogating officer may suggest inaccurate or wrong scenarios intentionally for the suspect to deny in order to tease out the truth.
What happened? How come the hat is left in the house? Like, I don't know why those things happen. I'm super curious. Was it just so upsetting and you were so full of adrenaline and you were just frantically running around that you just forgot them? Or were you planting them there?
I have nothing to say.
I felt like this scene was so obvious that you were trying for some attention. That's what I thought. I thought you were crying out for attention and saying, I want the world to notice me.
Repetitive questioning. Here we see the officer repeated her questions regarding the evidence items so much that the suspect was clearly tired of and worn out by them. That's why he asks her not to repeat them anymore.
This is the car that was driven around the neighborhood and rifled through, and then the headlights came on. Just lit everything up beautifully for our video camera. Do you have any explanation for why your image might be on that video? Cold as ice, eh?
I just don't want to repeat.
Using open questions. So instead of asking, do you have an explanation, we would ask, how do you explain this? So this is just one of many, many open questions that were asked during this 9-hour interrogation.
Buying that hatchet and that hat and those gloves. Why did you buy those things? I'll tell you what I'd like to know is that these things were purchased on the 13th of September. You didn't use them for 2 weeks later. How come you bought those things?
Situational futility. In other words, the officer points out, resistance is futile. You can't fight this big machine. It's just gonna keep on going. So give up already.
This is a big machine and it's going to keep on going. We're going to keep gathering evidence and it's not going to get easier or better.
Appealing to the suspect's conscience. By talking about his family, the interrogating officer tries to appeal to and elicit the suspect's conscience, trying to get him to do, quote-unquote, the right thing.
And they were talking with your brother. What do you call your brother? Toddy?
Yeah.
Well, he obviously cares about you a lot. He agreed to come in and talk with the police. He said it took you a little bit longer to get your degree, but you had to learn English at the same time. It's just that your brother has come in to talk about you. He said that you were born in Hong Kong and you came to Calgary when you were 18. That your mom is a Canadian citizen. And that your sister came to Canada before him. That you finished high school in Hong Kong. He doesn't report that you have any health problems. He said you had a sore shoulder after the crash last year, but it's not lingering. He says you like to stay home and play video games. I guess we've already confirmed that. He said you got along well with your mom, and they didn't have a temper. It says in here that your grandmother is 92. I guess your mom is out visiting with her now. Anyway, there's other notes, but your brother had a message for you. Do you want to hear it? Listen carefully because this computer's speakers aren't very loud.
And if he knows anything about this? No, because if he knows anything, tell the police. But tell the police.
Yeah, he wants you to tell the police the truth.
Appealing to suspect's self-interest. Do this. This is going to be good for you.
I want you to feel better. I want you to do well after this. I don't want this to be the only thing in your life that defines you. That there's still hope and there's still a chance for you to make something good come out of this. Your family's watching what you do from here forward. Your grandmother's watching what you do here forward.
So this is using praise and or flattery.
You have a degree in economics. That is impressive. You're good with math probably and numbers, and I don't think that you're a dumb guy. That's why I'm taking the time here, Rocky. If I thought you were a write-off and dumb, I wouldn't come in here. I'd just let them take their evidence to the court and that would be it.
Highlighting the detective's own experience, expertise, and authority. Trust me, I've been doing this a long time.
Well, you know, Rocky, that's not uncommon. Because I sit with a lot of people in this room in your shoes. Most people feel that way at the beginning. Well, I have to say, most people, once they see what they're facing and what's going on, they change their mind because they realize that there's benefit in talking about.
Pardon?
They realize that there's a benefit to them emotionally to talk about what happened. I've done this more times than you.
Yeah, I know.
Trust
Sure.
me.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Touching the suspect in a friendly and encouraging manner.
What do you want to say? You know, Rocky, I can sit there and I can feel that you are feeling something. I can see that you're emotional.
Obtaining apology to use as admission of guilt.
I can see that you're emotional. Why aren't you taking this chance to at least express remorse? Maybe today you're not ready to talk about the whole ugly story, but at least say you're sorry.
So there we have it, a quick highlight of 20 common interrogation techniques used by Sergeant Terpsma on Mr. Kam during this 9-hour interrogation. Hope you found this video interesting, and please check out our full review and analysis of this interrogation on our YouTube channel.